can start now.
Okay. 3, 2, hand gesture. Good morning, dear listener. Today we're going to talk about the new show on Sci-Fi called Z Nation and about zombies in general. So have you seen Z Nation, Cristy?
I have not.
Okay, Z Nation is a new show on the Sci-Fi network. It's made by them, which should immediately tip you off that you are in some dangerously bad television territory. Sci-Fi, of course, their most famous creation is Sharknado.
Yes, the ever-popular Sharknado.
So what I've discovered from all the Sci-Fi original series and movies is that if it is a Sci-Fi original, it's probably going to suck.
That's kind of true.
What they do really well is replay Sci-Fi that was made elsewhere, which is really tragic. If you think about it, we have a whole channel devoted to one of our favorite genres, and they just suck at it. So Z Nation, I was excited to see. What I had heard about it beforehand was that it was a lot closer to World War Z kind of feel.
The movie or the book?
The book, sorry.
Oh, okay.
That it was supposed to be spun off from the book. And since the movie had next to nothing to do with the book, I was looking forward to seeing an adaptation of World War Z, the novel. It turns out it's not really an adaptation of the novel, but it is about, life in zombie-infested waters. I mean, territory, the United States, and people on the ground and how they're fighting against the zombies. And basically getting into the same kind of territory that The Walking Dead, life in zombie-infested waters, states, and people on the ground and how they're fighting against the zombies. And basically getting into the same kind of territory that The Walking Dead is in, which is, life in zombie land, right? And it's exactly what you can expect from a sci-fi production. The acting is bad. They did get a couple of real actors. One of the actors from Lost is on it.
Who's that?
He's an African-American actor. He was...
Well, right there was only one black guy in Lost.
Was there?
In the main, with the main characters, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then that guy.
And his son.
And his son, yeah. Okay. I didn't remember that, but okay, yes, that's the guy.
Do they have Hispanics on Lost? Because there are Asians, there are...
How can you forget Hurley?
Hurley.
I can't believe you forgot Hurley.
I know, and he was my favorite character.
He was like
Lost.
One of the most central characters.
Yes.
That's messed up, Cristy. You forgot the Hispanic.
He obviously had a glandular problem because they hardly ate. All they ate was mango, basically, and yet he still was heavy.
Do you know that they actually had to write a story around explaining why he was still fat?
Yeah.
I swear.
I only saw two seasons. I couldn't stomach it.
It was
any
actually couldn't stomach it. No
pun
intended.
But anyway, back to zombies.
Wait. But first, I want to tell you about this because this is an interesting bit of trivia. So I think it was after 5 or 6 episodes, Hurley was still fat, and it was becoming a problem in the believability of the show.
Oh, so there was a problem with believability on Lost? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Well, you know what? I think one of the things that you have to do, at least in sci-fi TV, is you have to take care of some of the smaller details because they help you kind of stand up your premise. If you have gaping detail problems, like someone who hasn't eaten in 6 weeks and is still, getting bigger, then the rest of the thing falls apart. But if the little details are right, then it lets you carry this more improbable premise of the show.
I just want to say...
Does that make sense?
Just, yes. For the record, I'm heavy, so I'm not making fun of him. It's just the implausibility of him being heavy when they're only eating mangoes.
Okay, so what they did was they wrote in that there were secret airdrops of food coming into the island.
I do remember that.
And that he was gorging on peanut butter and not telling anybody that he had found
remember
this
that.
food.
Yeah.
So that was actually written in because of the detail that didn't make sense, which was they only had, nuts and mangoes to eat, and he was not losing weight.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay, and he was Mexican-American, by the way.
Chicano, sister. By the way, we're Hispanic.
Oh, yeah, we should let people know that.
Yeah, they don't know that.
Oh, and I was going to say Mexican-American doesn't mean Chicano necessarily.
Well, yeah. But then words that define people, it's a very weird area, because Hispanic, what does that even mean?
Well, that has...
Or Latino.
Yes.
I
agree.
Because if it's people who speak Spanish, Brazil, they speak Portuguese, so that doesn't work.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. That tripped me up because even though I know that, Latin America and Hispanic should include Brazil, when I actually talked to a Brazilian and heard him talk about himself as Hispanic, I was like, no, you ain't. And the funny thing is, if you don't know what we look like or who we are, it would be confusing because...
By the way, we're very sexy. We really are.
Oh, well, that much is clear without seeing us. Duh. But we are Hispanic of European descent. We are mad white.
I'm see-through, dude. I'm so Caspa. It ain't even funny.
Why do you have to do like a ghetto dialect for that?
I don't know. I do it. It's like...
I don't know. I started it with mad white, but still,
I do it all the time, and I've realized that some people may find it offensive, and it's just being stupid.
It is funny, and just I always describe myself as mad white.
Yeah,
because I am.
I don't know. People look upon people that are not of color using language like that as very insulting. I don't know if that I really think that.
It's become like a comedy trope. Like it's basically a stereotype of comedy right now that, if you're going to say something really nerdy, that you have to like put on a ghetto kind of language, ebonics, because that's going to heighten the humor. Well, but it's played out anyway.
The thing is I think it's more like goes under the definition of hip hop, and so it opens it up a little bit more.
Well, we could get into a big discussion about that.
Yeah, we could. We're here to talk about zombies, Lisa. God damn it.
And zombies don't talk, which is one of the great things about zombies.
No flamers, dude.
No. Christy, now you're going to talk shit about homosexuals?
No, people will not be flaming you and saying, hey, you suck. You're so stupid, because they're zombies. They don't have brains anymore.
Oh, thank you.
That's what I meant.
Well,
I am down with the LGBT.
And down with the ZOMBIE.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, God, I got to stop that.
That's one interesting thing about doing a podcast is when you hear yourself, right? You become aware of things that you're not, when you talk, you don't really hear yourself, right? And then when you do a podcast, you're so aware of every syllable that comes out of your mouth that then it can really paralyze you.
Nah.
Which brings us back to zombies.
Zombies.
So.
Brains.
I like The Walking Dead a lot, and I'm going to do this for you, Christy. It originated with a graphic novel. Our longtime listener, knows that I insist on calling them comics and
Commies. Commies. You're a commie for calling them comics.
You know what? That goes right, because comics is, like, to me, from the 50s.
Yeah,
It
man.
goes with the Red
Comics,
Scare and
comics is like Family Circle, like
Archie.
Marmaduke.
Read it as an adult, because, there's a lot of subtext with Veronica and Archie.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I don't know that for a fact. It would be hilarious, though.
Yeah.
If it turned out to be really deep.
Archie is actually talking about the dehumanization of corporate America and
Veronica is a metaphor for Scottish independence.
Dude, yeah, that's so true.
That was
oh
the
my
worst Scottish
god.
accent. That was the worst Scottish accent I've ever done. I really apologize.
Better than mine. I will not even try it.
That's good. So.
Oh, hey.
Then.
Okay.
About those
then.
zombies.
Yeah, so zombies.
Talking Dead is a great show, but The Walking Dead is one of my favorites because it's about the everyday experience of being in the apocalypse. And that's what's really interesting to me. And I think that's why I like zombie stories, is because it's really about...
Lisa, what is the psychology of you enjoying apocalyptic stories?
I want everyone to die. I used to be ashamed to say that, but I think I'm coming out of the closet now as a major hater of people.
No, but I totally get that. I mean, if I have a bad day where I'm just like, people suck. And you know what? Spoiler, they do. I'll be like, damn it, I'm ready for the zombie apocalypse. I am so ready.
So I think that's the number one major appeal of the zombie phenomenon, right? I think that's what appeals to people, is the idea of, like, let's get rid of all this bullshit of our current civilization. And the other one is, I think we live in a zombie society now, in that we have people around us all the time, but they're not fully human to us.
Well, okay, I'm going to get over analytical. So hold on.
Why don't you just get analytical and...
Okay.
We can start
let's
from
try
there.
Let's try to balance it out. Let's just talk it out.
Fair and balanced,
Talk
Cristy.
it out. Talk it.
Let's keep this fair and balanced.
Talk it out. All right, so... I think what it calls to mind for me is how it's hard to understand people who will do things without thinking, and how that works when people are not conscious of themselves or what they do.
Kind of a mob mentality.
And yeah, and at least for me, I think about people who do horrible things, and you try to figure out the psychology, and maybe there isn't one because they're just not even there, not conscious of the evil things that they do.
Yes.
And that lack of control, I think, is at heart of what a zombie is that some people have no control over themselves. And how frightening is that when you can't offer any defense except to kill someone?
Wow.
Yo, we just got deep.
You've dropped some major science there, Cristy.
That's right.
That's a great analysis. And there's so much in what you just said. There's, I think it's looking at human beings as animals.
Yeah.
And looking at them almost as insects, like their group behavior. Mm-hmm. Because for me, one of the things that's always been a problem that I have with people as a group, like I like individuals, but I don't like people in groups. Our behavior changes, and I don't like the pack. I don't like the way that humans act in groups.
Well, and Lisa, the other thing is, wouldn't you like to shoot the person who's bothering you?
So deeply. Well, that's the real visceral appeal.
It's a zombie. Hey, I had to shoot it. It was a zombie.
Right. It wasn't my mother, really, that I killed. She was already gone, so I had to shoot her in the head.
Double tap. I think zombie can be done really well, and zombie can be done really badly.
Yes.
Some good good things that I've seen with zombies. Zombieland, hilarious, good. I thought it was awesome. And the other thing is In the Flesh on BBC America.
Oh, that's true. I love that series.
Yeah, that show is incredible. And I was trying to talk to someone about how I thought that the subtext in The Flesh was so great. The character is gay, and also in the beginning they show you how zombies can overcome their problem by taking a series of drugs, and it's like also calling to mind mental illness, and it's like all of this subtext into the whole simple zombie storyline.
Yes.
And then I was reminded, well, in the very beginning, there was subtext. It's not a new thing.
There's always been subtext in zombies, you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just the undead. It's mobs of people, or I mean there's or hating certain groups or outcasts. There's always been subtext.
Thank you.
you.
Yes. And, I have not seen any of the Romero movies after the original zombie movie. What was it? Dawn of the Dead? Day of the Dead? Night of the Living Dead. Sorry. I can't believe I forgot that. Night of the Living Dead.
You're insulting our one subscriber.
I'm so sorry, Kevin. So, Night of the Living Dead was the first zombie movie, right? And then George Romero was the guy that made that movie, and then he made several subsequent ones. And in each one, he took on different themes that he played out through the zombies. One in the 80s was in a mall, and it was about people getting lost in commercialization and in acquisition and consumerism. I haven't seen it. I mean, I've read about these things. I haven't seen any of those, and those are the classic ones. But I don't like slow zombies. The first one was really good, but it's kind of boring. Like by the time they get to kill somebody, I have to go get a sandwich and knit a sweater, come back, and the guy,
bitch gotta eat.
He's the zombie's still lurching in your direction. It just takes too long. I don't have the attention span for slow zombies.
What is your favorite zombie book, movie, TV show?
That is hard to answer because there's so many. I think 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, those two movies are two of my favorites. Those are, that was the first, I think, fast zombie movie, and they were terrifying. Like the slow zombies, I was like snoozing, but these, I mean, it becomes a horror movie. This is not just sci-fi anymore, and maybe that's part of why I like zombies also, is because it's more horror, or it's straddling the line between sci-fi and horror, so it satisfies both of those genres for me. And I also love In the Flesh, which hardly seems about zombies at all, really.
Right.
It's more of a drama.
Yeah.
The zombie part of it is such a small part compared to, bureaucracy and politics and all these other elements that come in.
Yeah.
And supernatural, actually.
If you haven't seen it, you have to check it out. In the Flesh is on BBC America. The mini series, which started off the whole thing, is on Netflix. So
is it?
Check it out. It's very good.
Okay, yes, on Hulu. They switch off.
Oh, it's on Hulu as well?
I think it's only on Hulu.
Oh.
Anyway, these things change from day to day, so find it on the internet. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
In the Flesh. In the Flesh also has an element that has not been seen in other zombies stories, which is the supernatural element, and that is that in Christian mythology, I'll call it, and apologize to anyone in the future who might be a Christian who's going to listen to us. Anyway, Christian mythology says that the dead will rise again. And again, that's more on the horror side of things, but no other zombie story has picked that up as, God and evil. They've always made it about comets or viruses, or gave it a sci-fi explanation, a science-y explanation.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that's great about this series is this storyline about how the zombies believe that they are like the new chosen people, chosen by God, because they have been brought back from the dead. And so there's a religious cult that is forming around that idea, and that they are to inherit the earth. And we haven't seen that anywhere else, and I thought that was a really cool angle, especially because I am a fan of supernatural horror. So I love to get the creepy crawlies thinking about that stuff.
The creepy crawlies.
Some people might call it the heebie-jeebies.
The oogly booglies.
Is that a phrase? Or did you just make that up?
Jermaine and I use that word.
Oogly booglies?
But it's usually oogly googlies, and it's usually, when you're like deeply in love with someone and you're acting all cute.
Oh wow, that's really disgusting.
Sorry.
Oh, it gives me the oogly googlies.
The oogly googlies.
You mean like the lovey-doveys?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Oh, gross.
Sorry.
Christy, please.
Sorry.
This is a place to talk about supernatural horror and the...
Keep it in your pants, Lisa.
This is a place to talk about zombies eating human flesh, okay? Not love. That's disgusting.
Hey, there is zombie love. In the flesh. The regular guy fell in love with the zombie girl.
The regular guy. Yes. Warm bodies.
Oh, I like that. It was maybe a little too cute, but it was nice.
It's a cute zombie movie.
Yeah, if there is such a thing.
There is.
And then they had Rob Corddry in it, he was very funny in it.
He was very funny.
Yeah.
I think that and Zombieland are kind of...
oh, God. Zombieland is my all-time favorite zombie thing.
Is it?
It's so good.
It's a great movie. It's so funny. Yeah. But I think they were a reaction to all the zombie craze. You couldn't have Zombieland before you had 15 different zombie franchises.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a parody, but it's playing with it, right?
Yes, it is.
But that is a great movie, and double tap has become part of my vocabulary.
Yes.
And it should be a good reminder to me to do exercise, because I do want to survive. Exactly.
Cardio, Lisa.
Rule number one.
Rule number one.
Don't forget your cardio. I do want to survive the zombie apocalypse, or whatever apocalypse may come.
Yes.
I would like to survive it because I would like to experience a world without people. Or at least without most people.
Yeah.
Is that wrong?
Is that wrong?
Does that make me a bad person? I used to be very secretive about my apocalyptic fetish. Because I thought...
If you call it a fetish, people are going to think it's much weirder than it is. Like necrophilia or something.
And then I laugh, and my laugh is so evil sounding. I sound like a mad scientist in my everyday life.
Excellent.
Yeah, because I felt like I was basically saying, I don't like human beings. And now I'm okay with saying it. That's what happens when you get older, is you're more accepting of your hatred of large swaths
Lisa,
of
I
humanity.
feel so thankful that you feel so comfortable with me that you can finally say it.
I like post-apocalyptic fiction. It's a
That's
bonding
great,
moment.
honey. That's really great. Okay. I accept you just the way you are, Lisa.
Are you going to join some kind of support group for family of the post-apocalyptic fiction lover? That's a lot of syllables. Sorry. Something like, P flag. Like Z flag. Z flag!
Oh.
I don't know. The acronym doesn't make any sense, but it's
What is
funny.
it? It's family and
Parents and family of
oh,
lesbian
God.
and gay
There you go.
something.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Anyway, you get the idea.
Yes.
Z flag is funnier.
Yes, it is.
In my case, though, it doesn't have to be zombies, I'm just as happy with vampires or, whatever it takes.
I think I'm more into vampires than zombies.
Did you read, what was the name of it? There's two books, The Chosen and The 12.
No.
It's a vampire as virus idea, but they end up wiping out the United States. And so it's a post-apocalypse via vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really well written.
Mm-hmm.
It's, it's really on the literature side of things.
It's probably...
It has no pictures, though. It's just a novel. It's not a G novel.
Do you see my eyes, Lisa?
Nobody
What are
else
my eyes saying?
Do I look bothered?
What are my eyes saying?
They say I hate you.
Are they burning holes in your head yet?
They say I hate you. I wish you were a zombie so I could put a pickaxe through your head.
No pickaxes. More like a shotgun. Anyway, vampires have been totally overdone. There's so many stupid books and stupid stuff.
See, this is the problem I have with our nerd brethren. Is the YA young adult side has gained a lot of momentum, and especially in movies, which you've explained to me that is the demographic of people who go to the movies, and of course they make more movies for teenagers, and that's why Twilight happened. But just because I understand why doesn't mean I have to like it. Anyway, there's a lot of YA I'm going to call it flabby fiction because it's not thought out. And that's where you get Edward. That's where Edward comes from.
Well, I have to say that there are some guilty pleasures. And I'm going to tell you
Let's
right
hear
now.
about your fetish now.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm somewhat ashamed.
My name is Christina, and I read Twilight.
I did.
Is that what you were going to confess?
That's what I was going to confess. I did read the Twilight books. I watched the movies. And I did not watch them ironically.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well,
but I can objectively say now, it was stupid, but it fulfilled a need that I think is stupid, yet I still have.
And what was that need exactly?
That romance, that whole you'll live together forever, and it was meant to be, all that stupid stuff. I know that it's stupid, yet I still like it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, world. I'm sorry. I apologize.
This is a day for confessions.
It is.
Christy is
But
interested.
that's why I can say there's a lot of stupid stuff in the whole vampire thing.
Yes.
I did, I did read all the Anne Rice novels before all of this other young adult stuff came along,
Yes.
and that was very appealing.
And that's also like very pop kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just for fun, Why not? And I have no problem with that. As much as I hated Twilight and its brethren, the fact is, you like what you like. Just enjoy your life. Who cares? Just don't write it.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
Don't write it. Don't write it for the money.
Although Underworld was a little bit more, this was cooler.
Is that a novel as well?
No,
Or
it's
that's
the movies.
just movies, yeah.
The movies.
Okay.
Those are a little more interesting.
Yes.
A little more adult.
A little bit meatier, yes.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
It was delicious.
It's interesting.
Although I must say, to do the movie without Michael and then superimpose his face on whatever character or actor you found.
Michael who?
Michael in the movies was the hybrid werewolf and vampire.
Oh, okay.
In the last, I think it's the last movie, it was like they had to make it again because they just wanted to randomly make money. And they didn't get the actor who played Michael to be in the movie. So they had a stand-in. And I think what they did was they took his image and put it on that person.
Wow.
And it was like, really? And that movie was just like, oh, it was so bad.
I haven't seen this. I have got to get a look at this. That sounds really interesting.
The first one was really great. It was really good. Then they did one going back to the older vampires, to the beginning of the lichen and vampire, I guess, tribes, you would call them,
yes.
And how their feud started. It was very interesting, very neat. The artistry of it was beautiful.
Yeah, their imagery was really beautiful.
Yeah. So that was really good. But this last one that they made was just like, it was just pathetic.
That's usually what happens with all of these movies, in series, that the first one is inspired, they decide to make a sequel, and then they degenerate until the last one is, somebody in a Furby costume, and you can see the zipper in the back. So
Alf, I think
happens.
Alf was there, right?
Alf was one of the lichens in the last movie with the pastrami sandwich.
Well, no, he really loved cats, so there were cats all over the place. Don't you remember Alf used to eat cats?
Yes, I'm just not understanding the connection.
No, there's no connection. I'm just
Oh,
being
okay.
ridiculous.
But you know what? It sounds like that would be the natural next step after they superimpose somebody's face onto another actor.
Yeah.
That bodes badly for actors, doesn't it?
Oh, God, it's horrible. Well, there's a movie coming out right now, or that's out right now, where an actress gets paid a certain amount of money and she gets super scanned 3D, 360-degree scanning, and basically she's going to be put in a bunch of movies, but she only gets paid once for her image to be, used.
Yes.
And kind of all of the things that might happen around that.
That's interesting. It comes out of something that's happened in real life, which is that you've seen this in commercials where they'll take someone who is dead and use computer imagery somehow and put them in a new commercial, doing stuff that they've never done, like Marilyn Monroe drinking a Coca-Cola or something. And that started this whole question about using the image of someone. And now, at least in California, your image is an asset that you can
Copyright.
copyright.
Had to pay the estates of several people.
Exactly. So I guess that's where this comes from, and it's an interesting idea because as our digital capabilities increase, we get into all kinds of areas of digitizing human beings.
Yeah,
that
it's a strange new world.
that is totally new territory.
Kevin and I were talking, and he said that our generation is the last generation that will know what it was like before the internet.
Yes,
And that's like, wow.
that's true. I think our generation has seen such an incredible revolution that hasn't been seen since the Industrial Revolution,
Yeah.
which happened when? Near the Victorian era. Anyway, not to bring it back to that, but it's been what I don't want to say sea change, but it's been a complete new world that's opened up, and it's really stressing me out. I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, I was also talking about how we grew up in a time and a place where our parents would say, go outside and play, and we would just spend the whole day around, not necessarily even at somebody's house. You know, riding our bicycles, going to the park, doing whatever we wanted. You know, kids now, they're either inside playing video games or they take their phone and play, you know, and stay on the phone, or they're, you know, in virtual worlds playing things, or you know.
And that's why there's obesity among children.
Yeah, and it's just like, that was such an idyllic way to grow up.
I don't think that is something necessarily that has to be lost, you know?
But it's dying out.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to. I mean, like, I understand that the typewriter is just not going to be a major influence in our lives anymore. Okay? And that's perfectly understandable. It's got to go. We have something better. But we don't have something better than reality.
Yeah.
You know, and I think for children, the way that we grew up, yes, going outside, spending time moving our bodies, living in our bodies and becoming comfortable with them, I think that's we don't have a better substitute for that, you know?
No, but a lot of people live disconnected lives anyway. They're disconnected from their bodies.
Yes, I know. And I don't think that that's good.
No.
And I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And I would like to reconnect personally.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll work on that offline.
All right. We'll have to check back with you on that.
Okay.
So, I think we're through with our podcast.
Goodbye, gentle reader. We'll see you later.